Oh, I mean, all of it was fun. Being stuck in that car with those guys was incredible. And you know, you're filming along, and then it's boiling, it's 40-degree heat, and then they turn the aircon off because it's too noisy. So I just remember sweating and having a hand fan aimed at my head. That was it.
For me, when I was looking for a director for this project, I wanted someone who, one, was a writer-director, and two, that was from this area. It was from the heartland of America and really could speak to it and bring an authenticity to it that you can't manufacture. So he was by far the best choice for this role.
This is a perfect blockbuster. It's just got everything. It's got, it's obviously massive in scope, but it's got heart, it's fun, it's funny, and it's just really about this real great community that, is not talked about. So it's a perfect movie.
It's such a wonderful cast. Anthony, Glen, I mean, the entire cast are so brilliant, and we all really bonded in Oklahoma. We went line dancing. It's just like the original, the ensemble is so incredible. I feel very honored to be a part of this cast.
I think we have an incredible cast. I think we have some of the most spectacular VFX today, and the sound design is also on another level. And all of these things we've worked really hard for, and I hope people will love the movie. I hope they love nature and all those things, and just having fun and eating lots of popcorn.
He's, Javi went to school with Kate. They went to college together for meteorology. They were studying tornadoes. They were chasing. They go through a traumatic experience. They both kind of move away. She goes one way, he goes another way, and he comes back. He goes to the military. He's in charge of this amazing technology. He brings it back to Oklahoma, and he takes it to a certain level, but it can only go so far without Kate. So, he's like, hey, I got to get my A1 back, and and they reunite, and I think that's when the journey begins.
You're at the European premiere of Twisters. Just sum up what's happening right now in your head.
I'm excited. I was here last year around the same time, so I'm happy to be back. And I love it. I love London. I love it around this time. It's always fun.
Twisters. I've got you the proper weather, by the way. I ordered it in just for this.
That's it. I mean, look, if it wasn't like this, what's the point?
We don't want sunshine. Right. Let's talk about Javi. Tell me all about him.
He's, Javi went to school with Kate. They went to college together for meteorology. They were studying tornadoes. They were chasing. They go through a traumatic experience. They both kind of move away. She goes one way, he goes another way, and he comes back. He goes to the military. He's in charge of this amazing technology. He brings it back to Oklahoma, and he takes it to a certain level, but it can only go so far without Kate. So, he's like, hey, I got to get my A1 back, and and they reunite, and I think that's when the journey begins.
Let's talk about tornado season in Oklahoma. Just what was that like?
Yeah, it was unpredictable, to be honest. I mean, you just never knew what was going to happen. Every day we'd come to set, and again, you're in the middle of tornado season, and you pull up to set, you come to work, and you're just like, we had to take cover a couple times. The crafty tent is blowing over a few times, but I think that 1 minute it's sunny, the next minute the wind's blowing, so it's just unpredictable.
And I got to ask you about the action scenes. Were they as wild as I think they might have been?
They were. I mean, like, you know, they pelted us with rain and wind, and you know, they had I think it was a jet engine from a Boeing 707 that they used for the wind. Sometimes they had 2 of them on us, you know, 3 of them on us, you know, depending on what we were shooting. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was hard. We were out there. It was like 100 degrees out there, 95 to 100 degrees in Oklahoma.
And why should we see this film just quickly?
It's adrenaline filled. It's everything you want in this kind of movie. I mean, you know, it's action packed. There's romance. There's comedy. There's, I mean, action, more action. You know, nonstop for as long as from the beginning to the end.
Let's just sum up how you're feeling to be at the European premiere of Twisters.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so excited to be here. This is one of my favorite cities in the world. We lived here for a year, my family and I, during COVID actually. So it feels so great to be back and out with the crowds and being able to celebrate this film.
And we supplied the weather tonight.
Yes. I would expect nothing less for movie Twisters. I'm glad I have lots of hairspray in my hair for tonight.
Why was this the right time to revisit the Twisters universe?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, we're in this season of really wanting to bring people back to the cinemas and feeling this sense of community that you get from when you see a movie together. And there, you know, the general theme through this is community, is coming together. So we felt this was the right time to tell it, especially with what's happening in our current climate, that, you know, weather like this is July and it's raining. It's kind of interesting to start having these conversations and having them in bigger detail.
What about your leads? Let's talk about the talent that you've got there. Why were they the perfect people for the job?
You know, I think Glen was born for this role. When you see him in it, there was no one else that can play this other than Glen. He had so much fun with it. He didn't take himself too seriously, and I think that's the perfect balance for this. Daisy, I've been a fan of Daisy's for so long, since Normal People. She's so talented, wise beyond her years, and she brings that real groundedness to it. Her performance, the authenticness of her feelings. It was just really amazing to watch her grow into this role. Anthony Ramos, I'm Puerto Rican, so for me it was very important to have representation of PRs in this film, and there's no one out there that is so talented like Anthony. Brandon Perea is also Puerto Rican, so it was really wonderful to have them be in this film.
Absolutely. Talking of talent, Chung.
Yeah, Lee Isaac.
He's unbelievable.
Yes.
Why was he the perfect person?
For me, when I was looking for a director for this project, I wanted someone who, one, was a writer-director, and 2, that was from this area. It was from the heartland of America and really could speak to it and bring an authenticity to it that you can't manufacture. So he was by far the best choice for this role.
And why is Twisters the must-see movie of right now?
Because it's big, it's epic, it's exciting. We have an amazing soundtrack, all original songs for the most part. And it brings you back to those films that really got us excited in the 80s and 90s, a good popcorn summer flick.
Hello, you're at the European premiere. Just tell me how you feel right now.
Oh, I feel like so overwhelmed and excited and just thrilled to be here, truly.
And the weather, we've just really ordered it in for you.
It feels very on theme. I'm very, we really pulled through. We're on brand.
Please talk me through Kate and her character. Just what she like to play.
I mean, Kate, I love that character. She, you know, she's somebody who's gone through a lot at a young age, and it's really marked her. And I think this film is a wonderful celebration of somebody who is both coming home to where they grew up in Oklahoma, but also coming home to themselves and the person they once were. And yeah, her journey is really beautiful. I really love it.
And your accent's incredible, by the way. Absolutely amazing. Weather boot camp. Just what was that like?
Yes, weather boot camp. That was really cool. I mean, I'm such a nerd for any, you know, weather stuff. I was really enjoying being there and meeting real meteorologists, meeting real chasers, and just trying to pick up as much as I can. So whenever I had weather jargon, I didn't look like I had no idea what I was talking about.
Are your mates asking you what the weather's going to be now?
I know, well, apparently Bill Paxton used to give weather reports at the start of every shooting day. I'm not quite at that level, but there's still time.
And let's talk about the wild action scenes. Were they as crazy as I think they might have been?
They were definitely, like, when you read a script and it says, like, and then they get blown away, you sort of, like, try and imagine what that would be like, but only when you're there with an actual, like, jet engine being blown at you and, like, wind and rain and debris just being thrown at you, you're like, okay, this is definitely not going to be a comfortable summer, but also so much fun. It was like being on a theme park ride.
And Anthony and Glen, I mean, unbelievable company you kept. Was it just lovely?
Do you know, it's such a wonderful cast. Anthony, Glen, I mean, the entire cast are so brilliant, and we all, like, really bonded in Oklahoma. We went line dancing. It's such a, just like the original, the ensemble is so incredible. I feel very honored to be a part of this cast.
Who was the best at line dancing?
Glen, actually, he grew up in Texas, so he knew how to swing dance. He was very, very good. I had no idea what I was doing.
Anything you can't do, for goodness sake. And why should we see this film this summer?
I think it's a summer blockbuster like we haven't had in a really long time. It feels like, it's real people set now who are, facing monsters that are, real and plausible, and so I just think it's nail-biting adrenaline ride, but also there's so much heart, there's so much character and fun. Yeah, there's just lots to enjoy.
We're at the European premiere of Twisters. Just sum up what's happening in your head right now.
You said what's
Just
happening
sum up
in my
what's
head?
yeah.
Oh, this movie is a movie I've wanted to make since I was a kid, so I'm so excited.
I want to hear more about your Wrangler character, Tyler. Just how wild is he?
I mean, Tyler's, I think, who we all wish we could be. He's the guy who wears a cowboy hat. He's got a great team of friends around him. And he runs into the storm.
And the action scenes are mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Were they as wild as I think they might have been?
I mean, we definitely went through the storm in Oklahoma. We shot it in tornado season, in Tornado Alley. It was a wild time. So.
And you got to hang out with our very own Daisy and this guy to your right. Just how good was that ensemble? Have you got new best friends now?
No, it was. That's the other thing is that you're in trucks in the middle of nowhere in fields. All you have to do is have each other's company, and you just get to play pretend. Well, it's just the best. It's the best. But this crew is like, I'm just so proud. We're on this big group text with all the Twisters folks, and everybody just cheers each other on with every win. It's just awesome.
I hear there wasn't a lot to do in Oklahoma. Did you get to hang out kind of offset with each other?
Oh yeah, no, we definitely got after it in Oklahoma. Yeah, there's a bar called Cowboys. I think all of our pictures are up in that place now.
Unbelievable. And why should we see this film this summer?
This is a perfect blockbuster. It's just got everything. It's got, it's obviously massive in scope, but it's got heart. It's fun. It's funny. And it's just really about this real great community that, is not talked about. So it's a perfect movie.
Good. And I ordered this weather in for you, by the way.
Thank you. This is very Twisters weather. It really is, yeah.
How does it feel to be at the European premiere of Twisters?
Feels amazing. I'm really happy to be here.
The weather is just perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, drizzly. I mean, I can feel some storm clouds brewing. It's good. They've laid it on. Yeah.
Let's talk about your character, Ben. Sum him up for me. What's he doing?
He is an English journalist sent out to do a piece on some crazy storm chaser dude. And he kind of gets sucked into it, and it becomes something else for him.
And that means you got to hang out with Glen Powell and his Wranglers. How was that experience?
It was amazing. I mean, I had very little to learn because I just had to come in as the outsider, ignorant, who gets affected by it all. So it was wonderful. I was suddenly there and I was thrown into it, and that's very much the experience you're going to get.
Have you got a moment that really stands out on set, like a really fun time that you had?
Oh, I mean, all of it was fun. Being stuck in that car with those guys was incredible. And you're filming along, and then it's 40-degree heat, and then they turn the aircon off because it's too noisy. So I just remember sweating and having a hand fan aimed at my head. That was it.
Sounds amazing. Tell me why we should see this must-see Twisters film this summer.
You've got to see it. It's the time of the action films back. Go to the cinema, take some friends, because it's going to be a huge ride, and they're going to love it.
You're at the European premiere of Twisters. Just sum it up for me if you can.
Sum this up. This is incredible. I can't believe that we're actually here. We've been working for this, and just to share it with people and with people who I love, we had a great time making this together, so this is just really special.
When you first got the call or the email or the text message, what was your reaction to being part of this world?
It was an immediate, I want to do this. I'd already been talking about Twister as a reference of the type of movie I wanted to make, and then suddenly this project just landed on my doorstep in a way, and I just knew I had to do it. So it was weird. It felt like the stars were aligning in some sense.
Absolutely. And this film really benefited from your practical effects. How hard was it to shoot?
We knew the harder it is, probably the better the film would be. So I really believe in working really hard for different elements of a movie. We didn't want it to be easy. And the first film felt like it was hard to make, and we wanted to honor that.
What about working alongside the likes of Spielberg, Frank Marshall? Can you sum that up for me?
I just sum it up by saying those guys you meet your heroes, you don't want to be let down, and those guys did not let me down at all. Like they were inspiring to work with. They were so generous and supportive and congenial. They were just incredible partners.
Talking of heroes, lots of screams for some talent here today. Anthony's there,
Okay.
Glen's here, Daisy as well. Just tell me about that amazing cast you've got.
I tried to cast people who I wanted to hang out with, and true to form, they're all that. I love seeing these guys. We're always like old friends when we meet up, and hopefully that bleeds through into the film. I think they're all special actors and people we should all spend time with.
And did you get to spend much time with them outside of the set?
In Oklahoma, there's not always a lot to do, so yeah, we tried to spend some time together.
And just tell us, why is this the must-see movie of the summer? Sum it up. Why should we see it?
I think we have an incredible cast. I think we have some of the most spectacular VFX today, and the sound design is also on another level. And all of these things we've worked really hard for, and I hope people will love them.